Hey, I'm Heather. Do you love yarn? Love creativity? You belong here at Strings and Threads, your go-to spot for crochet, knitting, and a fun, interactive community. Let's create together. Subscribe now and join the fun. Okay, I have it the length that I feel comfortable with from my armpit down. So this is not going to be a belly shirt for me, but if you wanted to make it that way, you certainly could. So this would be like from right under my armpits is where it would start and go down to the length that you want. For me, it's hard for me to get this whole thing in the picture. I've been trying to bring it way up so you can see. Mine turned out to be a little bit more than 18 inches, like 18 and a half inches. And how that translates to centimeters, it's about 47 centimeters. Yep, that's pretty close, almost on the button, 47 centimeters. So the next part will be to start making the shape of the V-neck. And what I recommend, if it's available to you, I recommend having two ends to work on, and you'll kind of start one on each end and you'll meet in the middle. So you'll have to work, some stitches this way, and then you're gonna have to turn this and do some stitches this way. Since we're doing all double crochets, there's not really a front and a back, so it's not gonna matter. If we were using a stitch that had a specific front or back, then we couldn't do it this way. And I did not count my stitches. I'm just going to keep going in increments of 20 until I start getting closer, and then maybe I'll do increments of 5 or 3 or 1. In the middle, you're going to end up either where you have, it depends on the number of stitches you have, but you're going to end up either, one ending here, where they'll be right next to each other, or you'll end where you're here, and then there's a skipped one and here, and that's fine too. I would just leave this center one skipped if that were the case. So go ahead with double crochets. If you have two yarns to work with, that's best. If not, you can count and find where the middle is and work one side at a time, or maybe you could work from the center on one side and then pull from the ends on another side from the same one if you don't have that available to you. But let's do our double crochets and then meet in the middle, and then we'll come back. So I came from both sides coming towards the middle. I had to turn one around to do it, and then I could just do this one this way. And for me, it turned out that I had one stitch in between. So I'm just going to leave that one stitch there. Yours may have met up because we did this by measurement and not by stitch count. So it really depends. So for the next row, we're sticking still with double crochets. This is the double crochet summer top. You'll chain 2, and then you'll double crochet 2 together. And then you're just going to put one double crochet in each of the rest of the stitches across. And you're going to do the same thing when you get to this side. Double crochet the first 2 together, and then I'll double crochet, just one double crochet in each stitch all the way to the end of the row. So I'm not going to do the whole row or the whole 2 rows with you. That would be a really long video. But when you're done with that, then come back and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I worked both sections back. Of course, like we talked about, I double crochet 2 together and then put one double crochet in each of those stitches across. So we're going to now take both ends. We're going to work towards the middle again. And when we get to the last 4 stitches before the V, we're going to double crochet the first and the second stitch together, and then we're going to double crochet the third and the fourth stitch together. So there'll be 2 double crochets together on both sides. You're going to do the same thing here as you're coming from this side. On the 4th to last stitch, you'll double crochet those 2 together, and then you'll double crochet the last 2 together. Otherwise, you're just putting 1 double crochet in each stitch across once you get to there. So we'll go ahead and do the next row, and then I'll come back and talk about what goes on next. Okay, so from here on out, when you get to the V section, whether you're going, if you're going forward, you're going to double crochet the first 2 and the next 2 together, like we have been, to make a deeper V, and then 1 double crochet in each of the stitches across. Same with this side too. You'll double crochet the first 2 together, and then the next 2 together, and then 1 in each stitch the rest of the way across. And you're going to continue that way when you come back, the way that we practiced it here too, the way back, with double crocheting the 4th and 3rd stitch from the last stitch, and then double crocheting the last 2 stitches together until this is long enough to go over your shoulders, and then add another inch after that for sewing it together, so it gives you a little bit of wiggle room for that. It's hard to give an exact measurement or an exact number of rows because we're all different sizes. So the number of rows that it will take for me to reach the top of my shoulders may not match the number of rows that it would take for you to get to the top of your shoulders. So this is just a little bit of, holding it up and doing what looks right to you. So when you have these completed up to your shoulders plus an inch, then we'll come back for the next directions. All right, this is going to be really tricky to try and get everything on screen, but I did create it to be the length that I desire. So basically from the bottom part of the V would be right where your armpits line up, and then taking it up to where your shoulders, the mid shoulder, but you're going to add probably another inch beyond mid shoulder so that you have room to connect the back and the front panel. So I'll let you know what the measurement is. I'm going to have to put it out flat, so unfortunately the whole thing won't be in screen, but I'll let you know the measurement of what mine is. From the very bottom all the way up to the top, I have about a little bit less than 28 inches, which is, it looks like it's going to be about 71 centimeters. Sorry if I was off screen there for a minute. So that's the length that I feel comfortable with mine. Yours does not have to follow the same length. You are obviously not going to be the same size as me, so I'm trying to make this size inclusive. The other thing I wanted to mention was that I kept these attached. If you're able to have the 2 extra ball skeins or whatever of yarn that you have and keep them attached, and then have another one to work on the back, that would be great. But this is the end of clue 2, and then join me next time for clue 3.